I thought it was going to be, pretty good. But actually, it's turned out even much more than I expected. You've got two quite separate individuals that are the two protagonists of the story. So, and I think the curious thing about Ramses is he is, to a certain extent, he's actually quite sympathetic. And when they go against each other, they still go against each other as what they would still believe that they were half brothers. So there's an affection to that process, which makes that tension that much more interesting. If I'm building 20 60-foot columns, I'll only build 10 or 5 12-foot sections of the correct diameter of a 60-foot column. I'll put the rest in. But what I build has got to be perfect, because they're going to copy it. They're going to sample it and copy it. When you leave one place, you've been working with 200, 250, 300, but the other 300 are already working ahead of you. And so they're already getting that next spot ready, and that lot that you just finished will move on and join another smaller party that's been breaking ground on somewhere else. And so it's piggybacking. Otherwise you wouldn't get done. And so imagine that, 700 breakfast, lunch, dinner, medical officers. I got something for a period, and I had 2 drip feeds on walking around the bloody set because I couldn't stop. I didn't dare stop because I wouldn't get back, so I was clinking bottles on my left arm. And there's nothing like a bit of fear for adrenaline. That's good. That's always useful. Clears your tubes. Yeah, it's everything with that. There's trailers, caravans, makeups, air-conditioned trailers, wardrobe department, tents for changing, massive marquee tents for changing extras in, because on top of the 700 crew, you've then got, and any one day you'd be carrying 800 extras. Those 800 extras will then crank up digitally into thousands, because you just start cloning them. You have the real ones in the foreground, and the ones beyond, middle ground and background are digital. And they're perfect. 150 horses, all saddled, all period bridles, everything on board that would look either Hittite or Egyptian. And then the Egyptians have also got, I think, doesn't sound like a lot, but there's about 30 real chariots. Each chariot weighs about 500 pounds. Twin horses in the front that will run carriage, full gallop, carrying the carriage. The carriages are gilded and have got arrow quivers, permanent quivers in the sides, and they're there for lances and arrows. And there's a driver, and there will be an archer. Sometimes there's a three-man carriage where they stand side by side, driver in the middle, two archers left and right, and then once they run out of arrows, then they start lancing things as they go past. And they do pretty quick, like 22 miles an hour. And then but of course the Egyptian would have, to go to Hittite battle, they'd probably have 10,000 troops. So you're probably talking about, 3,000, 4,000 carriages. And so we'd clone those, and so you have lines and lines of the Egyptians coming forward with their chariots. Well, we find Moses fairly late on, he's already successful. He's already very much a master of his own destiny in Egypt. And he has worked shoulder to shoulder with not his blood brother, but his favorite. He's the favorite son of Seti, but Ramses is the physical son of Seti, the father of Ramses. And there's a competition, in a sense, between the two, because Ramses is slightly damaged in the sense that Moses was always perceived as being more capable in almost everything than Ramses. But I was simply presented the script by Peter Chernin, and the script told me enough to fully engage me in the story that I really didn't know about. And I was kind of very impressed, astounded by the lifespan of this particular character and what it led to, which has been represented in many epics, well, quite a few epics over the years. And once I took that on board, I knew I'd be facing that as a challenge as to how